What's going on? Back today, Friar Talk. You know the deal. There's some speculation going on with the Padres and Shohei Ohtani in terms of a potential deal that could be or could happen next year. I mean, the Dodgers are obviously going to be a team that we've always thought was going to be the front runner for Shohei Ohtani, but obviously the Padres with AJ Preller, you never know what's going to happen with them. I think AJ Preller's kind of had an infatuation with him for a while now, but um, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Padres have in store. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. I kind of just went live, so we had something to put out, but um, not a lot to talk about Padres related. Ethan Salas was obviously probably the biggest thing to happen for the Padres this week. And I don't know too much about him other than the Padres had a whole highlight reel already with him in Padres stuff to put on Twitter. So obviously the Padres have had that. He's kind of been a Padre for years now. In my opinion, we've kind of known he was going to be a Padre for a little bit. So that was good to see. That's probably going to be in the near future. Probably going to be one of the top 10, top 20 prospects in all of baseball. And I really do think he's going to be hopefully. We say this all the time about prospects are super unpredictable, but from what we've seen at his age, hopefully he's going to end up being a cornerstone for the Padres in the future. He's probably a good like 5-6 years away, but hopefully in 5-6 years we're looking at Ethan Salas as one of the top selling jerseys in all of baseball. I mean, hopefully that's the case, because the way he's getting hyped up right now, you would think he's going to be a damn good player. The Padres don't need Otani. I disagree. Um, I think every team needs Otani. Yeah, trusting Nightingale is also kind of weird. I don't think he's a very reliable source either, but I think every team could use a Shohei Ohtani. Um, we do have a lot of money coming off the books next year, and whether that goes to Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Manny Machado, I don't know who it's going to go towards. Manny Machado's already on the books, so hopefully he either takes a little more and stays a Padre. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but if Shohei's on the market, AJ's not going to shy away from trying to get him. And I think we've been saying this really ever since ever since we've known, all right, Shohei's going to hit the open market next year. We even said it last time we went live, I think. Um, we were saying the Padres are going to be in on Shohei Ohtani no matter what, because that's just what AJ Preller does. He loved both Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani coming when they were international prospects, free agents, whatever they were. He loved them both. Um, Obviously the Angels probably offered up a little more money, and then the Nationals were able to snag him a day before we were going to offer Juan Soto $1 million more than the Nationals offered him. So who knows, if Juan Soto waits a day later, he could have already been a Padre. Unfortunately, not the case, but AJ ended up getting his guy. He got Juan Soto, so it would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if he ends up getting Shohei Ohtani also. How a smaller market team can afford the massive expenditure lately. Can it be sustained? I mean, that's what AJ, not AJ, sorry, that's what Peter Seidler's kind of said. He wants to sustain this. When his whole free agent market, his pitch to the free agents is, we we want to have this sustained success. We understand we gotta spend the money to have sustained success. That's one thing I saw, was that this whole spending spree that they're on right now, it's not a short-term thing. It's something that they want to do year in, year out, in order to be a competitive team. Now, whether that means, a few years down the road, they want to do a sort of Dodgers type thing where they don't go over the luxury tax penalty, they kind of reset and then do it again the following year. I could see them doing that also, because that would hurt pretty bad. But from what I've seen, is Peter Sadler wants to keep spending money. If you guys listen to his interviews with like Ben and Woods, or really anyone, you guys would hear how much like he wants to win so bad. And he said, one of the main things I took away from one of his interviews recently, I forgot if it was at the winter meetings or if it was just on Ben and Woods in general, but he said you can't take the money with you when you die. And that kind of tells you everything. He wants to spend this money. He wants to win a championship. Um, and I mean, truly, I feel like we have one of the best owners in sports. Would you rather re-sign Manny and Soto or get Otani? You're putting me in a really massive hole. um, Shoot, Devin asked the same thing. Would you rather want Soto or Otani? I think I want Soto just because he's younger. He's going to be one of the best hitters in all of baseball for minimum another 10 years. I would really like to have Juan Soto um, more than Shohei Ohtani. Maybe it's just a bias thing because he's already a Padre and he meshes so well with Fernando Tatis and the rest of these guys. Um, I'd love to have Juan Soto. I'd also love to have Shohei Ohtani. AJ Peller's already shown though that he wants both. I mean, I truly think he can get both somehow. Um, but I also kind of think Otani is kind of a backup plan to, well, if Manny Machado goes somewhere else, which we don't think is going to happen. I think Matt, Chase, and I are all pretty adamant that we think Shohei Ohtani is going to be, or not Shohei, sorry, Manny Machado is going to be a Padre for the long run. But worst case scenario, um, that's going to hopefully be your pivot. Shohei Ohtani will be your pivot. Padres need to invest in Snell and Darvish or go after Aaron Nola. He's a free agent next year. Otani is more going to drive up price for the Dodgers. Yeah, I mean, I do think Otani is going to end up being a Dodger. And I saw something that their first negotiations, when Shohei Ohtani was originally coming into the MLB, didn't exactly go very well. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, maybe Otani doesn't want to be a Dodger. Um, Also, though, when it comes to Snell and Darvish, I do want to have them around for the long run. I'd preferably have Snell just because of his age, but Darvish, I still think has another 2-3 years in him of really good production. Um, I don't know what the free agent market is looking like next year in terms of pitching, but we'll look into that. We'll make an episode probably next year. We'll make an episode on that. I'm a fan of Otani, but I want to keep the guys. Yeah, I want to keep the guys, man. That's the thing. I want to keep the guys. I think the core we have right now is really good. I want to keep Soto, Machado, and Tatis around with each other, and obviously Bogarts too. He's going to be there, around with each other for years to come. I think that's going to be some of the most fun baseball I've ever watched with those guys in the lineup. So hopefully we're able to keep them all. I mean, Soto, I feel like is going to be a hard guy to keep just because I feel like Scott Boras has kind of changed his stance with the Padres. I think Peter Seidler and Scott Boras are kind of developing a nice little friendship. But again, that's the Scott Boras client. We're kind of seeing them, except for Carlos Correa. But even Carlos Correa got 30 million AAV. They're getting top dollar, so it might be hard to re-sign Juan Soto, but I think we get it done. The Chargers collapsed. Yeah, they did. It's crazy. I was sad for like 5-10 minutes. And after that, it was just a realization that it just happened. It's a thing of being a Charger fan. It's like the new Charger fans were probably super comfortable being up 27-0. The new Charger fans, I mean the people that are happy about Justin Herbert and don't really know the history of the Chargers. The history of the Chargers is blowing those 28-0 leads, blowing, you're up 2 touchdowns, 5 minutes left, and you end up blowing it. For the former San Diego Charger fans, you guys know that happened all the time. So I think seeing them blow this one, it didn't really surprise me. Hard to pass up Otani with premier pitching and hitting. Yeah, that's the thing, is that he provides value on both sides of the ball. So that's why, oh man, I'm gonna get to that comment. He does so well on both sides of the ball. Whether that's going to be sustained production for years to come or not, I don't know. But in terms of, what free agents are on the market next year, or who do we want to keep, I truly do think Otani in the short term provides you a better chance at winning a World Series than either of the other guys, just because of his value on both sides. But long term, I want to keep the other guys more. The other guys being Juan Soto and Manny Machado. Give us back the juiced balls. They'll come. I don't know how old Shohei Ohtani is. I still remember the Jets game. You mean the Nate Kading game? I remember that. I remember that one pretty vividly as the Nate Kading game. What was the baseball's Babe Ruth hit? The worst part about the Marlon McCree fumble is Marty literally was quoted before the game telling the defenders to get down on any fourth quarter interception. I didn't know that. Oh man. It's crazy because you find this stuff out years later, and the pain just keeps ensuing. But like I said, what's the surprise? Being a Charger fan, that's what you sign up for. My little brother, he's like 10 years old now, and I don't know if he watched the game. I haven't asked him if he watched the game on Saturday. Um, but I just remember being his age or younger actually, and watching that Marlon McCree game and watching the Nate Kading game. I remember all of that, and it was not a good feeling at the time. So I can't imagine, if he's mad or sad, I don't really know, but I remember those. Are the Chargers still playing now, man? They got eliminated. Um, you think we get that Machado extension done this season or during the year like Musgrove? It's a great question. I don't know. I feel like every player wants to get their extension done before the year starts. That would kind of be my ideal thing. Like, you don't really want to worry about a contract extension during the season. I don't know how it worked out with Musgrove. I don't know if Musgrove was involved in the negotiations or if it was just his agency, reaching back out to him, stuff like that. But for Manny Machado, I could imagine he wants to get his deal done before the season and lock in during the season. If it doesn't get done before the season, oh well, so be it. I still have a firm belief that he's going to be a Padre for at least another 6 years, hopefully. Um, Hopefully long enough to get a statue at Petco. Is Staley on the hot seat? I mean, I would hope so, but it doesn't seem like it. Um, just from my experience as a Chargers fan, the Chargers have always had a difficulty in firing coaches. They always do it a year too late. So if we're going based off the past, he's gonna be around for at least another year. Alfaro signed with the Red Sox. Yeah, I saw that. That's good for him. It's a minor league deal. I think he has a chance to make $2 million in the major leagues. Yeah, that's good for him. I mean, he didn't do very well in the Dominican League, but all I saw were clutch hits. So that's all everyone's gonna see. Good for him. Why is not why is MLB not promoting bringing in Korean or Japan league coaches? There's interpreters, fresh minds. Shoot, man, that is a very good and super complex question that I don't know what to say, so I'm not gonna answer it. Manny's going to his 300th bomb real soon. I hope so, but I mean, I'm gonna talk about Shohei Ohtani because we're supposed to have an episode on Shohei Ohtani. We're supposed to clip this, um, and I didn't talk about him too much in the beginning. So your comments are gonna be anything for at least a little bit. Have him be Shohei Ohtani. Um, Let me look up his age real quick. I want to say he's like 29 or 30. Please, someone let me know. I think he's like 29 or 30, but that's going to be a guy that might command 45, $50 million because he provides he's a top 5, top 10 pitcher in all the MLB, 31. He's a top 10 pitcher in all the MLB, and he's a top 10 hitter in all the MLB. He provides an immense amount of power, and I think in Petco Park, um, that power will be on display because right field is kind of short. I think lefties have an advantage in Petco Park, even though it's a really hard field to hit at. I think that would bode well for Shohei Ohtani. And we know that coming up soon, we're gonna have question marks in the rotation. Yu Darvish is set to become a free agent after this year. Blake Snell set to become a free agent after this year. There's two guys that we might have gone. Only guy locked in is Joe Musgrove, and I guess you could say Nick Martinez. We'll see how Nick Martinez does in a starter role this year, but after this year, just Joe Musgrove and Nick Martinez are locked into the starting role. After that, you got some question marks. What will Jay Groom do? How's Ryan Weathers going to pan out? There's multiple questions. Shohei Ohtani answers the question, but the problem with that is that it's so much money, you're not going to be able to fill out the rest of that rotation. So whether it's a matter of I want to go all in and get someone that's going to help on both sides of the ball, or I'm okay with having still the best top 4 in baseball: Fernando Tatis, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, and Juan Soto. Then you can hopefully maybe get 2 pitchers with that money that you would use just on Shohei Ohtani. Personally, look, I want Shohei. I think he's super cool. I think he's probably top, if not the most marketable player in baseball, top 5 probably. I think he'd be great in San Diego. I think there's a fat market here. And I think he'd be treated. I mean, all we've seen from these players is how good they've been treated. Juan Soto just got 24 million in arbitration, or 22, something like that. That's a lot of money to get in arbitration. We're treating him right. Josh Hader, same thing. We just gave him 14 mil. He was estimated to make like 11 or 12. So I think this is a great place to sign if you're Shohei, or if you're any free agent. So in terms of Shohei, I would love to have him. All the numbers support him being a $45 million player. I think that's around what Mike Trout is making, 40 or 45. And Shohei has shown that, hey, I'm the best player in baseball. I'm quite possibly a top 5 player to ever play. Does that sound premature? Maybe to you guys, but to me it doesn't, because he's doing this to what, 2 years in a row now, where he's putting up numbers that I've never seen. No one has ever seen. I mean, outside of Babe Ruth, doing it on both sides of the ball. And I quite honestly think he should have won the MVP this year. If he didn't win it the year before, I firmly think he would have won it. It's like Russell Westbrook when, he put up back-to-back triple-double years and he didn't win it the second time because it wasn't as special. I don't think people understand how special it is to do it 2 times in a row. He did it 2 times in a row. And all signs point to him doing it again. I think the Angels have built something really nice over there. I don't think they're a playoff. Maybe they're a borderline playoff team, like 6 seed, 85, 86 wins, something like that. I like what they've been doing over there. But I think this year kind of is a do or die year for them in terms of keeping Shohei Ohtani. If they suck, he's not going to want to go back. He's going to be 30 or 31 already, whatever it is. And he's going to be wasting his years over there. I think now you're starting to see players don't want to do that. They don't want to waste their years on a losing franchise. They don't want to be stuck in a losing franchise. And especially a top player like Shohei, why do you want to be remembered as a guy that, I was one of the best players ever, but my team always was under 500. I think that's kind of the main incentive for Shohei to leave right now. So I kind of think that's why you're seeing the Angels go all in right now, basically revamping their starting rotation, trying to fill out their lineup with solid players. Because if they don't win, why is he going to want to stay? All I've heard from Shohei is how competitive he is, how much he wants to win, his great work ethic. I think there's going to be a fat market for him. Everyone knows that. But I also think the Padres are going to be that team to say, hey, we're willing to pay you top dollar. When they lost out on Trey Turner, they immediately said, hey, whatever, like, let's just try getting Aaron Judge. That probably wasn't even on their agenda until probably a few days before Aaron Judge got signed. They said, let's try getting Aaron Judge. They didn't get Judge. They got Xander Bogaerts. Like, they're going after top guys year in and year out. What makes you think they're not going to go for Shohei Ohtani? Even if Bob Nightingale isn't the most, reliable source, I think this is a very common theme throughout all of baseball. The Padres are in on everybody. So I don't know what you guys think. Matt and I have already talked about it here. They're going after Shohei. They will break the bank for the right player. They've shown that time and time again. You know how hesitant AJ Preller probably was to give up CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, and all those Robert Hassel, all those guys that left to get Juan Soto. He probably didn't want to do it. And I firmly think that there's no other player on the market other than Juan Soto that AJ Preller would have done it for. Maybe Shohei, but you only get a year and a half out of Shohei. He was getting 2.5 out of Juan Soto, and he got Josh Bell in the process. So all we've seen is that the Padres are willing to do whatever it takes to get these guys to win. And remember, the luxury tax penalty, it goes up, it goes up. I don't know what it's going to be next year or the following, but it goes up. Money coming off the books. The Padres are going to find a way to try and get them. I don't think they're going to get them, but at the very minimum, they're going to drive up the price for other teams. And overall, I think it's going to be a win-win. But you just look at the pure numbers. I've said it already. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but off the top of my head, that is one of the top 5, top 10 players I've ever seen. And not once recently have I seen, oh, this guy's going to be out for an extended period of time or, anything like that. He's Mr. Reliable. Anytime he's on the mound, you know what you're going to get. Anytime he's at the plate, you know what you're going to get. Super fun player to watch. it's been so cool to kind of get our own version, of Babe Ruth, because everyone talks about how Babe Ruth was the greatest to ever do it, and we have the modern day version of him right now, in the MLB. So who knows where he goes next year? I'm very excited to see where he goes. I hope it's not LA. I mean, I do think it will be, unfortunately, but I hope it's not LA. Um, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is going to be the talk of the town every single day up until his free agency, up until he signs to a new team or stays with the Angels. He's going to be the talk of the town everywhere, at least in every big city, New York, LA, here in San Diego. I don't know what other teams are going to be in on him, but everyone's going to be talking about him. And we'll probably make a whole episode just on him when we start recording just for pure episodes again. Because when we do these lives, we're not pulling up stats or anything. We're just kind of going based off the top of our head. So if we say anything wrong, it's because we're not fact checking, because we don't care to fact check or anything before. This is just based off our pure opinions. But come season time, when we start making regular videos, we probably will have something on Shohei Ohtani saying why he's worth the money, what stats show that he is worth the money. Maybe we'll try and see how, if his production is going to be sustainable with his while he ages. I don't know. I mean, truly, I do think he's going to be the first maybe $50 million player, because I thought Juan Soto was going to be that, but Juan Soto doesn't pitch. Shohei Ohtani pitches, and not only does he pitch, he pitches pretty damn good. He's up there for a Cy Young kind of thing. At least the past 2 years he has been. So it's a lot of fun talking about Shohei, and we're going to be talking about him a lot because we know the Padres are going to be in on him. But yeah, I mean, hopefully I got an episode out of that. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Let's see. I see Michael Caputo's got a lot of comments. Manny goes free agent and gets his value set. Padres pay the price. I mean, yeah, I could imagine. Are the Mets overhyped? Yes. Finally, someone says it. Good job. The Mets are overhyped. We've said it time and time again. Yeah, they're probably going to win another 100 games, 95 plus wins, something like that. They're a solid team. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think they're as good as last year though. They don't have Carlos. We've said it time and time again. They don't have Carlos Correa anymore. If they don't have Carlos Correa, they're not a top 3 lineup. They're not a top 3 team. I really don't think they are. Yeah, you got Justin Verlander, but all Justin Verlander did was replace Jacob deGrom. You got Kodai Senga. All Kodai Senga is doing is replacing Chris Bassett, Jose Quintana. I don't know I forgot who else they got. Carlos Carrasco. All they're doing is replacing people that are either the same or better than them. Kodai Senga is not going to be as good as Chris Bassett. There's no way. Not in his first year, at least. So I firmly do believe the Mets are overhyped. And I think that's probably going to be the general consensus, unless you're a Mets fan. It's basically the same. Is it the same exact lineup? No. The only difference is going to be at catcher, Francisco Alvarez, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But that's not a team for us to beat. We just beat them. We beat them already in a 3-game series. We beat them in every single series we played them in this year. I really don't think there's anything to be scared of when it comes to the Mets. Brewers are the sleeper team. I don't think so, if I'm going to be honest. But we'll see. Do I think we get Otani at the trade deadline? No, I don't think. I don't think we really have the prospect capital for that. The Dodgers have the farm. Yeah, they probably do. Best farm system in all of baseball. Hopefully, Alfaro doesn't drop any F-bombs. Also got him in trouble here. Yeah. Let's see. If Otani gets signed with the Padres, I get a tattoo of the swinging friar on my right butt cheek. I'm going to go back. I'm going to screenshot this. So that way, if it happens, you do that. You're going to lose Manny Machado as free agent next year. Oh God. No, we're not. No way Perler would not try hard to sign Otani. Yeah, that's kind of been the main thing that we talk about here, is that Preller's going to try hard to sign every single one of his darlings. And by his darlings, we mean like Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto. At one point, it was Joey Gallo. I mean, he got back his darling jerks and Profar. I mean, every single guy that this guy has loved at one point, he always tries getting him back, either getting him back or getting him in general. So if this guy's ever had, this guy being AJ Preller, if he's ever had an infatuation with a player, he's gonna try and get him. Let's see. How's that L taste? He's a Yankees fan, guys. It's just as bad. Let's see. Players want to go to LA to be booed endlessly. Well, that happens with the Yankees too. I was actually surprised Aaron Judge signed back because who would want to go play for them? They're trash. They're really a bad fan base. Um, couldn't be us, right? Oh, the Mariners. Hey, this is a good one. If the Mariners don't pick up Snell, then I have hope that he will stay. He loves San Diego, but he's based in Seattle. Yeah, I think that's kind of something that people always forget about. Snell's from Seattle. Very adamant about his Seahawks, Washington State, whatever it is. I forgot, but I do think he's going to be a Padre. He is younger than you, Darvish, and everything. Oh man, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's a good point. Seattle's in win now mode. They want to win. They're willing to spend the money to go win. So yeah, that is a really good point. Second half Snell is like Nolan Ryan. Yeah, he is. That's the thing. Hopefully, contract year Snell is more like Nolan Ryan throughout the whole year rather than just the second half because we're gonna need it. We keep talking about, well, what about this bat, like Brian Reynolds, stuff like that. Everyone keeps talking about, trade for him, trade Grisham, blah blah blah. But really, we need to trade for a starting pitcher. So if we're gonna trade Grisham, hopefully it's like to Miami or something for a starting pitcher. Because let's say Snell doesn't have a good first half again, and one guy gets hurt, something like that, you're really screwed. Your rotation's probably one of the worst in baseball. If any minor thing happens, such as Blake Snell having a bad first half or you Darvish getting hurt, you legit go to one of the worst rotations in baseball. Maybe not one of the very worst, but probably bottom 10, I think. Every pitcher's gonna get overpaid now. Yeah, they are. That's the unfortunate thing, man, is that they're all getting overpaid. And what's trash about it is that like a pitcher doesn't last anywhere near as long as a hitter. So I feel like the pitching market should not be that high. Um, they fall apart. I mean, for the most part, they fall apart. Let's see. I'm just looking for more comments to talk about because, like I said, there's nothing really to talk about the Padres. Hard to make the case Verlander is an upgrade from DeGrom. Yeah, if I said that, I did not mean it. He's definitely not an upgrade over DeGrom. I think the only thing you're getting out of him, at least from what we saw last year and the year prior, is that you're going to get more starts from Justin Verlander. Generally, other than the year he had Tommy John, obviously, he's been more healthy. So you might get more starts out of him. But also, this Mets rotation is very scary in terms of not only the potential, but also the potential to get injured. So I don't know, man. I don't think that's a rotation that's gonna hold up throughout the whole year. I'm not trying to be a hater. I generally like, don't get me wrong, the Mets are one of the biggest competitions for the Padres, but they're not a rival or anything. I do think the fans are a little annoying, but they're not a rival or anything. So I can't, I'm not really trying to hate. Our rival is the Dodgers. That's who I'll hate. But I really don't think the Mets did anything. And I think the only reason that like everyone's pointing them out specifically is because they're the talk of all of social media. Keeps talking about them, stuff like that. And it gets really tiring when you know that this hype is not warranted. I hope the Padres put more money in the rest of their roster. It takes the whole team to win a World Series, not 6 guys. They're already almost spending 273 million. I don't think they can put much more. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I don't know how much more money they can spend on their roster. I think they're going to be filling out filling out these different spots and trying to go to the trade market in order to better their roster. The D-backs, the Diamondbacks, yes, they are definitely the sleeper team, man. Everybody needs to watch out for the Diamondbacks. Even if they don't make the playoffs, they're going to be one of those sneaky teams that'll sneak up on you. 80 to 85 wins, I think, easily for the Diamondbacks. What if we give him that new kid we got, Trent, Kim, and Merrill for Otani? I don't think Ethan Salas doesn't have a big enough literally any value, so he can't get traded. And also, the Angels aren't going to trade Shohei Ohtani until probably the trade deadline, if that. Like I said, I do think the Angels are going to be a somewhat competitive team. Let's see. Resign garbage to a 2 to 3 year deal, opt out. What do I think of the Cubs? Am I afraid of them? No. I don't really think I'm afraid of the Cubs. I don't know what the general consensus is of that Dansby Swanson contract. I don't think it's a bad contract. I actually think it's going to age fair. I don't think he's going to be the best hitter, but defensively, you know what you're getting out of him. I think he's going to be a solid player for the Cubs. Cody Bellinger. I don't really know what to expect from him. You guys know I'm a I like Cody Bellinger, but I don't really know. I don't think the Cubs did enough to really get anyone to fear them in terms of, hey, this might be a playoff team. I don't think they did enough for that. Losing Wilson Contreras that's a really big thing. So they did add people, but they also lost one of the more significant parts of their lineup. So I don't know. We're definitely going to do like a top 5, top 10 teams type thing in the NL and the AL. But maybe the Cubs will be a top 10, but top 5, definitely not. Let's see. Nice. I'm kind of caught up with these comments. I went on a nice little rant on Shohei Ohtani, and I lost track. Oh, you meant to say re-sign Darvish at a 2 or 3 year deal. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I still think he has a good 2 or 3 years left in him, so I would love to see him get extended. Let's see. If we give Blake Snell $30 million a year, AJ Preller should be drug tested. Yeah. Bless you. Why are half of popular MLB YouTubers Mets fans? The only Mets fan I know that's a popular YouTuber is what's his name? Mark Luino, something like that. I know he's a Mets fan. He's a pretty cool Mets fan. I actually kind of like him. I don't watch him too much. I don't really watch many baseball YouTubers that much. Sometimes I'll watch Fuzzy to kind of get a rundown of what's going on in the MLB. Momentum's a good baseball channel. I just hate that it has Trevor Bauer on it, but I like Eric Sim and all those guys. Yeah, I don't really know many baseball channels out there, to be honest. Let me know if there's a good one, because I would love to watch them. What if Bogarts is a bust? That's a fantastic question. I think that's something more to worry about in 3 or 4 years rather than right now, because I think you're definitely going to get good value out of him for at least the next 2 or 3 years. I think he's still going to remain a very good hitter. The defense, we don't know about. He did have one. I mean, last year he did have a really good year on defense, so hopefully that carries over. But no, I think that's something to worry about down the road. But remember, like, even if he is a bust 4, 5, 6 years down the road, it's not going to matter. If we win a World Series, that will not matter. That is the goal right now. The reason we're signing these big time names is because we're all in right now. We want to win right now. So, hopefully we do win, because if Bogarts isn't productive a few years down the road, then it's going to look bad. Does Campusano have any trade value at this point? I think to some teams he will have some trade value. I also think that with the catchers market right now, it's very tough to gauge. There aren't very many good catchers, to be quite honest. There aren't very many good catchers, and I think that alone might help Luis Campusano's trade value. Also, like, if you watch, like, the stats might not show that he hits the ball very well, but he does piss on it. Like, he hits the ball really hard. There's something in Luis Campusano that obviously the Padres like, in order for them to have kept him this long. Think about it. They shipped almost everyone off except for Luis Camp. I guess Ryan Weathers too, but except for Luis Campusano. We're still holding out hope that Campusano can be valuable to the Padres. We're definitely going to do a top 5 bullpen list here soon. It's a little scary that next year at this time we might. Yeah. I know. We'll talk about that next year. Let's see. Giraffe neck mark. That's who he. Do I like iTalk Studios? Yeah, iTalk Studios is okay. I know he's got like 90,000 subscribers, something like that. Yeah, I think he's a pretty good channel. I think he's very informative. He had Mookie Betts on, or he talked to Mookie Betts pretty recently. Shoot, man, I forgot what fan he is. I don't really remember. But yeah. All right, nice. Now I'm kind of caught up. I don't think Xander at shortstop is foregone. It's not a foregone conclusion. 2 or 3 years down the road, he's not going to be a shortstop anymore. Maybe 3 or 4, but he's not going to be a shortstop for much longer. I firmly believe that. Dude, you got Fernando's literally a shortstop who's going to be many years younger than him, probably move way faster than him. Shortstop is a very demanding position. Xander's going to have to move off of it eventually. This news, as far as I know, Lino, from what I've seen, yeah, it's pretty true. Martinez threw 98 a couple. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I know, like, he's got velocity, but you know that it's a little scary having a guy go from, I don't know how many innings he pitched last year, but to ask 150 plus innings out of someone is a lot coming from a reliever role, or I guess long reliever role. Have you seen Snell's dude? Yeah, I wish I had Blake Snell's gaming setup. That dude goes hard with his gaming setup, man. I wish I had that. Extend Manny and Soto, forget Otani for 50 million. They can get to. Yeah, that's true. Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, there was an article that recently came out that the Dodgers' biggest competition in signing Shohei Ohtani is going to be the Padres. So that's why you're going to hear us keep talking about it, because he's basically saying what we already know. The Padres are going to be in on Shohei, whether you want him or not. I don't know. Padres are going to be in on Shohei. I did watch another NFL game. Who was it that played before the Niners and the Seahawks? I watched that one. I didn't watch any yesterday. I'm obviously not watching the Cowboys right now. I'll check the score to that though, because I do want to see. I do want to see if Tom Brady wins. But other than that, Matt might put Trent Grisham on this thumbnail. For anyone who didn't see, who was it? Was it Ken Rosenthal or Dennis Lin? One of them was on a podcast recently saying that the Marlins are in desperate need of a center fielder, and they really want a center fielder. They have a surplus of pitching. Tell me that doesn't have Trent Grisham written all over it. I truly think that. And one of the things that was brought up, a big thing, this is something big. They feel like they want a defensive first team, a defensive and pitching first team, because they feel like with stout offenses in their division, such as the Phillies, the Mets. I think that's their division. Let me see. It's funny. I got to check. I should know this off the top of my head. That is their division. So you got the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves. Those are probably 3 of the top 10 offenses in all of baseball. Apparently, they're trying to really make an emphasis on pitching and defense. They want a defensive first center fielder. Who's a defensive first center fielder? Trent Grisham. Who needs pitching? The Padres. This is a match made in heaven in terms of a trade partners. This is a match made in heaven. But I think the holdup is the Padres might not want to give up Trent Grisham because the center field market is scarce right now. There's like nobody. Trent Grisham actually provides some value as a center fielder. And it's not out of the realm of possibilities that he improved significantly. Like, everyone knows that. I feel like 180 batting average and like a 620 something OPS is his absolute floor. If he can get that up to, I don't know, 700, 720, hopefully 750, he's probably a 3 or 4 WAR player, just like Ha-Seong Kim. So I think that's kind of the holdup right now. I think they'd rather give up Ha-Seong Kim, and somebody brought up Jackson Merrill earlier. He is definitely a huge trade chip in terms of we have like 40 shortstops already. What do we need another one for? He's going to be a great player, but I mean, there's things that the Padres need to do in order to improve their roster, and trading him might be that. Who else was happy the Chargers? Not me, bro. Not me. Too soon. Other than that, though, Pablo Lopez, yeah, he might be a bust. Other than that, though, I don't really have anything else. Padres news is very scarce right now. It's kind of hard to talk about the Padres. I'm glad even 45 people are in here. So thank you for thank you for I guess showing up and hearing what I have to say, because I know the Padres aren't a very there's nothing entertaining going on right now, really, in baseball. Teams have already spent their money. The trade market's not very hot right now. The only thing we have right now really is rumors. That's all we can talk about. But drop it in the comments or DM us on Twitter. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Any ideas that you guys have for us to talk about. Because it's thin right now. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the Padres have to do in the near future, because I feel like a trade might be in the realm of possibilities. I know spring training is coming up real soon. Let us know who you're looking forward to watching in spring training. Obviously, Adrian Morejon, the big one, Fernando Tatis Jr. There's a lot of guys to look forward to. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later.